my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you'd like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. So I may or may not have purchased my #1 wish list plant, and it was expensive, but I decided that, you know what, hey, we're gonna get it. It's been a little while, like a few months, since I've actually purchased any plants, and so I was kind of like saving up towards this plant and felt pretty comfortable buying it. Let's just get right to it. I'm actually really nervous. I hope that this plant does well. I've heard that it can be a little bit on the fussy side or challenging side. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I've heard. And I also really hope that it shipped well and that everything is smooth. All right. All right, my camera battery is about to die, so I hope that, oh my goodness. Ta-da! So I purchased a Hoya undulata. I think it was from Cactus and Exotics or something. Yeah, off of Etsy. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, let me go ahead and finish unboxing this and then we'll talk about it. The pot does feel a little bit cold, so I'm really hoping that it didn't sustain like too much cold damage or anything like that. But it seemed like it was pretty well insulated and it didn't freeze, but it did get a little bit chillier than I was expecting it to. But I feel like Hoyas are generally one of the more resistant plants to cold damage, maybe. I don't know, I feel like I've heard that somewhere. Wow, okay. You have no idea how excited I am about this. So there's 3 leaves and it looks like, I mean, there was a leaf starting here, but it looks like it died off during shipping, which I think is pretty typical. This leaf is like way bigger than I even expected it to be. It's like the size of my hand. Oh my goodness. This Hoya undulata is
the trashy Hoya of my dreams.
The blooms on this plant are incredible. They're massive and so cool looking. So yeah, I'm very excited to have this plant. Finally, I mean, I think it's been on my wish list for at least 2 years. But okay, just of note, the things that are standing out to me now that I'm actually seeing it in person for the first time. First of all, look at these like splotches of, I mean, I guess it's the way that the splash manifests itself on the Hoya undulata. It's not like speckling like it is on a lot of other Hoya, like the Carnosa or something. It's like patches that almost look like, I just think it's the coolest look. And the undersides have like some purpley hues to it here and there. And I love the shape of the leaf, how big it is, and I love how it's like rippling. I mean, undulating, I mean, that makes sense, Hoya undulata. So yeah, I'm very excited, but also incredibly nervous about this plant. So if you happen to have any care tips, please do let me know like what your experience has been with this plant. But I'm gonna set this aside and I'm just gonna let it chill out. I'm not gonna really touch it for a little while. I'm gonna let it acclimate to my environment and hopefully it likes me. I might actually just put it right here. And maybe in a few days I'll transfer it to my greenhouse cabinet, but since it was in shipping and low humidity, I don't know that I want to put it directly into high humidity immediately. So I'll kind of like work up to that. But yeah, that's very exciting. As for the rest of this week, I didn't really say this originally because I was too excited to finally open up this box that I've been waiting to open up today. But I have a lot of plant things to do this week. Honestly, I was kind of considering doing the plant chores that I have been procrastinating this week. We'll see if I can get around to it, but I would love to take you guys along with me. And yeah, but this was just the first plant thing that I was doing, and I'm very excited about it. I'll keep you guys updated as usual. So yeah, the next time you see me, I'm going to be doing some sort of plant related task, so yeah. I I'm almost in the same exact spot as I was last time I was recording. But like I think I mentioned before, I want to get around to doing a lot of the things I've been putting off doing. So the first thing is going to be honestly just fertilizing as many of my plants as I can. I have a bunch of organic fertilizer in here, and this is just the stuff that Tank's Green Stuff puts out. It's like their standard organic fertilizer. I bought a massive bag when I first started getting into houseplants, and I'm just now getting to the bottom of it. To be fair, I have not been the most prolific fertilizer, but I would say that that's pretty dang good. It goes far. So I'm just gonna go around and put scoops of this fertilizer into each of my plants, and kind of along the way I'll identify if there are any plants that need some extra zhuzhing or if there's anything that I've been procrastinating surrounding them, and I'll kind of set those aside and hopefully I can get to all of them. But yeah, we're just gonna get to what we can get to. Oh, I already made a huge mess. Found that some of the stuff I procrastinate the most often is moss pool maintenance. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some moss to this and also some plant Velcro to hold it in a little bit more. Another thing is that this string of hearts, Silver Glory, has some propagations that I took ages upon ages ago, and I need to pot them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this down if I can. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna need to handle this. This is not very pretty. And as a bonus, while we're here, let's fill up the moss on this guy too. I think the plant care elements that I tend to procrastinate the most are all of the little things that, you know, you can push off and it's not going to affect the plant terribly in the moment. I don't know, they're usually small tasks that require specific tools to do. So obviously to refill moss and moss pools, like I have to have the moss on hand or plant Velcro in order to tie plants in place. With the fertilizer, I need to actually fill a container of fertilizer and go around and do it, because otherwise my giant bag of fertilizer is in the basement and it's just not that accessible. So it's like I'll think to do these tasks, but then they're just not convenient to do in the moment because I don't have the tools to do them right next to me, and then I forget about them until now. Like, I feel like I'm generally able to keep up with stuff like watering, sometimes repotting, depending on the season. Yeah, okay, there are some yellowing leaves here. I don't know if this is something that needs to be addressed or if it's just normal, but the fact that it's two, I mean, they're both older leaves, which makes me feel a little bit better, I think. Wait, oh no, hang on. This is really hard to tell. I got this, it was propagated from someone else's collection off Facebook Marketplace, but I think that they potted them up upside down, which is fine, but it's a little bit funny the way that it's growing. But I'm gonna go ahead and just trim off these yellow leaves here. You can totally hear my children's toys in the background. They're making such loud noises. Okay, yeah, I don't like that. All right, here, let me show you. Both the leaves that have died, hi mister. Both the leaves that died are on this single vine, which makes me think that this vine in particular is not doing well. But I think that it was actually potted up upside down, kind of based on the way that it's growing. Do you see that? So like maybe that's also why, is that the plant's all stressed out because it was potted up upside down. So I don't know. It'll probably adapt and be fine. Like, I think it still looks fine. It's got a solid 4 leaves because it has 2 other propagations in the pot. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. But I watered it recently, so like I don't think that it needs to be watered or anything. This right here is my philodendron fuzzy petiole. And it's doing pretty well with the exception of these leaves. Well, okay, let me back up. It was in the prop box for a really long time as I was propagating it. And so I potted it up, but kind of put it straight into ambient humidity. And these leaves immediately totally crisped up because of the shock of the change of humidity, which is fine. But the recent leaves that have come out are doing great. And there's like a new leaf right here. Honestly, it's doing great. There's even like a little root. Can you see that? Starting to go into the moss pole, which is super encouraging because I think that this plant might finally like me. Maybe, I don't know, we'll have to see. But figured it was about time to trim off those leaves that are unsightly. These are all the things that I would like to do more often that I notice, but that, yeah, I don't have the things on hand to do all the time because I store a lot of my stuff in the basement, like my plant care stuff, and it's just so out of the way and inconvenient to do things like this, even though they're really simple and easy things to do. I think that's a little bit better. I actually do need to restock on a lot of things. Like I'm almost out of my soil amendments, I'm almost out of my moss. I'm gonna need to make some orders soon. This is hard to do not on a surface, but I want to show you guys, so I'm being awkward. There we go, I succeeded. So that's good. I think there's one more. Yeah, this always winds up with dead leaves. It's my Syngonium confetti tricolor. I would like to find a cash po for this or something. I'm sure that I have one lying around. Is that something I should run down to the basement to do right now? Okay, this is the video where I'm gonna do it, so I'll be right back. Okay, I got this. I don't know if it'll fit. Let's see. Wow, it fits perfectly. I don't know if this is like the best plant and planter combo ever, but I think it's cute enough. It's cuter than it was before, so I'll take it. Well, that's cool. Okay, let me go ahead and fertilize all these plants here. If I'm being completely honest, I'm starting to get a little bit overwhelmed by all the things that need to get done. So I'm just making a list of all of the things that I'm noticing. And if I can get to them during this video, I will get to them. But if I don't have time, like, I'm not gonna freak out. Everything's gonna be okay. There's always time for another video. But I don't know, sometimes if I look around at everything, like just everything seems urgent. You know what I mean? Like, does that ever happen to you where you see all the things you need to get done and then it gets really overwhelming and everything feels like their #1 priority to do right now, but in reality, like they're not. So I have to like take a second to breathe, make a list, and then actually prioritize each of those items so I don't feel freaked out by it. That's what I'm doing right now. There's so much going on, but I'm just gonna focus on fertilizing right now because that is something that I can do. I think I'm also going to generally pass over the Emporium care because I'm planning on making a dedicated Emporium care video sometime really soon. I might even film it this week if I have time to. My Emporium are gonna get their pampering done. You know, their needs are going to be met really soon, so I'm not gonna try to also focus on them during this video because there's a lot that needs to be done surrounding them for sure. This plant is beautiful, but my oh my, it gets a lot of like dead leaves and stuff. They just die off and it comes out with new leaves, so I'm not freaking out or anything, but I definitely need to trim them off pretty regularly. See, I think it was trying to root up and create a new plant, but the problem is this is not in soil, so you know, that just doesn't work as well, and then the plant gets dramatic and dies. Probably because, I don't know, these probably take a lot of energy. You know what I mean? I don't know how well you can even see that, but. Alright, and this leaf just looks ugly. It's gotta go. There's also some blooms here, which, sorry, I'm also gonna cut those off. They're cute, but at a certain point, I just get tired of them. I think that's the worst of it. Honestly, that makes me feel so much better about this plant already. Just having all those parts trimmed off. All right, I've kind of reached the bottom of my fertilizer, which I still should probably fertilize some plants that are downstairs, so I'll try to refill that fertilizer. But for in the cabinet, I'm gonna close this because the fan is so loud. But I'm gonna try to pot up my Alocasia cuprea into no drainage. Actually, I think I might actually pot it into this vessel. I'll rinse it out and everything, but I'm gonna try Alocasia cuprea and no drainage because my other alocasias seem to actually really enjoy that. This guy, oh my goodness. This is my Hoya linearis, and it is completely overgrown. I actually feel kind of bad because these bottom portions are a little bit bare because the leaves keep on getting knocked off since they're like hitting the bottom of the cabinet. So I definitely need to take some cuttings of this guy, trim it, and obviously I'll propagate it and add it back into the pot. The same can be said about this string of hearts, the variegated string of hearts. I also should propagate it, and I have propagations to add in, and I might need to repot it and put it outside for the summer. Maybe, we'll see. This fern leaf cactus is completely overgrown. I need to pot it up with the other fern leaf cactus that I have, so let's try to do that. I think there's some other things that I could do, but I don't know that I'm gonna have time to do much else than some of those things, so at least for today. Maybe I might film one more day for this video if I have time to, because that would be really nice if I could get a little bit more done, just because they're all things that really need to get done. Should I fertilize my plants downstairs? I don't really feel like it, but I probably should. Okay, I just have a mess of plants on this table, but we're gonna work through them one by one, and hopefully, again, I can get to a lot of this stuff. It would be nice if I can film for this video one more day so that I can get some of like the moss pull extensions done and stuff like that, but I just have a limited amount of time each day to film, so unfortunately, I just can't knock it all out on one go. But thankfully, my mother-in-law just got here to watch the kids, so I have like a span of uninterrupted time, which is gonna be incredible. It's honestly really nice to just be able to focus on one thing. Honestly, this fern leaf cactus, I think chronically gets a little bit underwatered. So it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but it's looking a little bit kind of wrinkly and worse for wear. Maybe if I get it out of this terracotta, it'll fare better. I also obviously have this separate plant that I would like to pot in together. The one thing that makes me a little bit sad is I'm not 100% confident that I'll be able to have it still hanging where I'm planning on putting it, because it's currently in a macrame hanger, but the hook that's holding it up is not the most heavy duty hook. Okay, oh yeah, that's so dry.
That is so dry.
Yeah, I need to, I'll probably, yeah, let's do this. I am hoping that if I pot it into this plastic, like it won't look as nice, but it will retain moisture probably more. And that way too, I'll also have a better idea of when it needs to be watered, because this is one of those plants that it is communicative, but it's hanging up high, so I don't always notice when it needs to be watered. It's subtle signs, like slightly wrinkly fronds or leaves or whatever these are called, modified stems. But I think that this will be good. And this way too, I'll have room to squeeze in the other plants, hopefully. Actually, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because I need to take a look at this root system. Actually, let me show this to you. It's a little bit ridiculous. Do you see all these like white things popping up? Please tell me you see that, because these are all roots that are growing out of the top of the pot because it is that root bound. It's time, I think, Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, it's really hard to tell, but like it is root bound, absolutely. All right, let's I'm gonna have to break it up a little bit. I'm proud of this plant and how it's progressed because this was just like cuttings when I got it, like barely rooted cuttings. But now it's honestly really happy and thriving, so like that's great. But how do I wanna, maybe it can go like a different direction, maybe? Oh boy. I might need to break everything up a little bit to make it all fit and kind of conform to each other. Oh, this is so dry. I'm so sorry, plant. It looks like when I was watering it, it wasn't really getting deep into the soil because it has some like hydrophobic soil in here, which is not good. How does that look? Does that look really silly? I'm just kind of adding it into the side, the other plant. There's a lot of air pockets. I think that's pretty good. That is a very full looking plant right there. I'm gonna go ahead and water this in right away because it's parched and it absolutely needs it. Wow, that is so full. Although yeah, I don't really know where I'm gonna put this now because I'm not sure that it's gonna fit in the location where I had it before, which is part of the reason that I've been procrastinating this task for so long. So that I knew that I'd probably have to end up moving it, but I don't know, we'll try. And if it doesn't work, I'll figure something else out. All right, while we're on the repotting train, let's repot some more plants. I think I'm gonna do my Alocasia cuprea. As I mentioned before, I want it to be in no drainage. So the way that I do this, okay, I've had some plants in no drainage, like a handful of very specific plants like Emporium and Alocasia, either no drainage or self-watering pots. I've only really had them in that for like the last couple of months, so I can't speak to its long-term success, but so far they've really been thriving and enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep doing it until they don't like it anymore. But I like to add a layer of leca or pebbles. If I had pon, I would try pon for this plant, but I just don't have it on hand, so I don't want to go out of my way to buy like a whole new amendment. That's probably good enough. And let's see how the roots fare on this guy. Oh, okay, I'm pleasantly surprised. To be completely honest, I was expecting the worst, but this plant is actually doing quite well, all things considered, because it has been through a lot. I'm just kind of peeling off some of the dead matter. Let's see how much of this moss I can get off. I'm not gonna be too dramatic about it because I feel like alocasias don't really love the repotting process. I'm gonna be gentle. Wow, look at that root system. It is so developed. Okay, I don't know that I'm gonna try much more than this because I'm getting a little bit nervous with how intertwined this moss and these roots are. And I don't know that it's gonna be that big of a deal. So let's do it. There is also a new leaf coming in right here too. So maybe this plant will turn around. Honestly, this root system might even be like too much for this vessel, but let's see what happens, I guess. Okay, look at that. It does feel pretty good to actually have this in soil, in a container, because I feel like it's been a while since it's been like this, and I want it to finally be happy, guys. So pray for me that this works. Maybe, I guess I can address my string of hearts. Very good at string of hearts, more specifically. Now, I don't know that I'm going to bother detangling this today because I feel like it is a fruitless endeavor. I might unpot it really quickly just to see what the root system looks like and get a sense for whether or not it needs to be repotted, because I also have some propagations to add back into the pot, and I think it's about time to check on it. If I can, because wow, it seems to be very stuck in here. I think it's gonna be time to repot. I can already tell. Will I, oh, there we go. I was about to ask, will I be able to remove it from the pot? Oh, wow. Yeah, it was about time. Wow, look at that. These have been rooting for months and months now, and it's disgusting. I don't even know that these cuttings are still healthy. I think they're still alive, but yeah, they don't look very good because they've been wasting away. Oh, gross. Do you see? There's like algae on these roots. That's so bad. Oh, gross. Let me go see if I can rinse this off. Well, it turns out that these are barely rooted. You can't even really see it on camera. I'm gonna pot it up anyways but the worst case scenario is that these strands just die off. Oh my, okay, I added too much. I should use a chopstick when repotting more often. I feel like it's so useful. Okay, I see you, girl. Oh, that's nice. That is very nice. The question is, do I feel like propagating it again? I don't know if I want to do that today. I might hold off and propagate it another time because I don't want to go through that again. Okay, this is a bit of a mess of a plant right now, I feel like, but we're just gonna focus on one task, and that is to add in these propagations that have also been propagating for a long time. But I think that the roots are in better shape than the other plant, so it seems a little bit more promising to me. Now the question is this plant also absurdly rooted? Like, do I also need to repot this? I honestly don't know. It seems like it might be very, very rooted now that I'm like trying to poke around in there. Like, you wouldn't think that it is because it's so bare on top, but string of hearts roots unexpectedly hard. So let's investigate, and if I need to get another plastic pot for this, I will. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, it's not as root bound as the other plant was, the variegated string of hearts, but like it's still a solid piece here, and I still see roots, and I don't think that I would be able to fit in these propagations. So I'm gonna run down and grab a plastic clear pot. Okay. I do think that this plant will probably be happier because this is another plant that I tend to, I think, underwater, and string of hearts needs more water than you expect it to. So yeah, I'm just gonna free it up a little bit. Oh, it's a stray bobby pin that I forgot about. Sometimes I use bobby pins to like hold pieces of plants down, like if I want to wrap the trailing plant back in, but I haven't done that in a long time. Okay, I don't know. I love string of hearts, but man, oh man, the fact that they tangle so much is not a happy thing. Let's just wrap that in there. think that's good? I think it is. I think it's actually gonna be really cool to watch these string of hearts plants root up. Like, I like the way that they look in terracotta, but in these clear plastic pots, I mean, these plants root so much, and they have like these little tubers or whatever you call them too that pop up from time to time. So I think that'll be really interesting to actually be able to see. Okay, this is a very random plant. I've been propagating this for way too long, and I'm not gonna keep it, but I have a friend that wants plants because she just moved into a new house. And I offered to give her some plants that, like, it doesn't matter if they die because she's not confident in her, you know, keeping plants alive skills. But yeah, I told her I would just give her some. So this is a plant I'm gonna pot up for her. It has the potential to be like a really nice plant, but like, I also don't care if it dies, you know? I'm not attached to it at all. And I also want it out of my house. So it's like a
triple win situation.
It's just been living in water for a long time. But I'll give it, you know, several weeks to acclimate in my environment before I give it to her. Just because it's switching from water to not water. It's a cute plant. This is a type of monstera, but I don't know specifically what the idea is other than monstera. I think it's monstera window leaf, but like, I don't even know if that's real. So this is my philodendron heteroecium that has been in this pot for a very long time. I'm sure that there's some root rot going on in here too, because like, it's just been here for so long, but somehow it's thriving, which is great. But yeah, this plant has lived through a lot of neglect. I don't know how it's still alive and thriving, but like, it is so long. So I need to propagate it because it's getting a little bit too long for its space. But eventually, I mean, I would love to add the propagations back in to the pot. So let's see, I think I want to actually put it in some terracotta. For once, we're switching into terracotta rather than out of terracotta in this video. I still love terracotta. I think it's fantastic, but we're just working with what I've got and where I need plants to be. The nice part about potting this into terracotta is that if I decide to move it from where it's currently at, it would be able to fit on one of these walls here with a wall hook if I decide to move some plants around. So I do kind of enjoy having that versatility with trailing plants, especially the ones that are like neglect proof. Okay, that's a lot better than I expected. Actually, it's not bad at all. I don't really see any rot, so that's a relief. Well, with the exception of this one piece. Like, this one piece does not look great, but I'll leave it in there because maybe it will root up and be okay. The one downside is that I would habitually water this plant in place because it was in a cash bow, which was honestly really nice, but like, it's fine. I think it's fine. I do actually need to get a saucer for it though, because it's on top of wood at the moment. And obviously I don't want the wood to get damaged, so I think that that's a good start. Quick and easy, but it is time to actually trim this too. Wow, this is beautiful. Look at that, it's so beautiful, but it's very, very long. And I'm just gonna water propagate it because we're going the easy route today for this plant. Let's see. I don't think I want to do single leaf propagations. Trim off some leaves here. I want it to be already kind of trailing if I can go that way. If I can get away with it. I don't know if I will though. I might need to chop it up further. I think I might. I think it'll be happier if I do that. So let me revisit these guys. It's just like, these are awkward, you know? That would be really awkward to propagate, but I don't want to waste either, so. I don't know, do we think that that's good enough? Or do I want to trim it down further? I might do a couple more single leaf propagations. still so long. Oh, I think that this vine also needs to be trimmed. This is just so cute. I want to keep it long if I can. All right, again, this looks wild and awkward, but it's okay. Hopefully it'll figure itself out, and then I'm gonna be potting them up together anyway, so. All right, that's a little bit better. It's still very long and nice, but it's gonna be like so nice and full once I pot those propagations back in. I think that this plant's gonna be so happy this summer. And ta-da! This will be living next to my sink. I've got time for one more, and it is trimming my Hoya linearis. I prefer to actually propagate long strands at a time rather than going node by node for the Hoya linearis. You can do whatever you want to do. I just know that this guy is way too long, and it's sad because I love how long it is, but it is hitting the bottom of the cabinet. It'll be nice because then I can continue filling this plant out in the future. I'm gonna propagate it in moss because I found a lot of success doing that in the past. I should have figured out how much I need to cut off because I did not do that beforehand. We'll just go vine by vine here because there's already a lot of bare nodes, so that will make it easy. Unfortunately, I will need to remove some leaves here, but it's okay. I think I'm also going to make a cut since there's so many missing leaves on here. I'm gonna make a cut that's like a mid cut as well. There we go. Quick and easy. I mean, the difference is not like extremely dramatic, but this will fit way better in my cabinet, which is what the goal was. And now very quickly, I just need to add some moss to this. And my camera battery is about to die, so I really hope it doesn't just cut off, because that would be unfortunate because I'm so close to being done filming for the day. All right. Perfect. Ta-da! They're a little bit funny looking right now, but this is good. I'm really glad that I finally got this done. Okay. Well, I think I do want to film another day because I still have so many other plant chores that I want to get done this week. I really hope that I can film another day. It might not be for like another week or until this weekend, but yeah, I think I still want to, if I can, extend a moss pole or two, maybe repot. Oh shoot, there's another thing I wanted to repot. Yeah, that'll have to wait. Maybe repot a couple more things, maybe do some watering, maybe fertilize the plants that are downstairs. I am actually, I don't know if I addressed that. I decided to not fertilize the plants down here because I think it's actually really overwhelming to have to fertilize everything like all on the same schedule. So it's better to maybe even have them a week apart. That's just a lot easier to manage, because I think that's another reason that I procrastinate it, is that right now all of my plants are technically on the same schedule when it comes to fertilizing. So it's like one massive day where I'm fertilizing every single plant at the same time. And that's just exhausting, honestly, because I've got a lot of plants in my collection. That's my justification for not fertilizing the plants downstairs today. But yeah, I will see you hopefully in a few days.
Soon as Daisy leaves me with the keys, I run from one room to another like I'm crazy. Look, she grinned. She hugged me whenever she could see that. She said, "You're gonna know your name."
Okay, I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out how the heck I'm going to film this, because this is a really awkward height. But this is my Philodendron verrucosum. It is on a moss pole currently, but I need to extend this moss pole. I do think that this will probably end up being the last moss pole extension that I make for this plant because, yeah, this is very long and I'm getting concerned about how stable it'll be. So realistically, we'll have to see how a chop and extend would work for this plant. I don't know, I'm a little bit nervous about what's gonna happen down the road. Let me try to get a better angle for you. All right, this is probably the best that we're gonna get. I do still need to finish making, oh, the moss pole extension. I just dropped all of my zip ties. I did also get a new hole punch, but I opted to try to get one of those more like leather punches. I don't know if it's gonna be any better. Oh my gosh, I'm dropping everything today. What is with me? I'm an uncoordinated queen today, I guess. Wow, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna try it and hope that it works because it said it goes through plastic, but my grip strength is also very lacking. So I don't know, I'm not entirely confident. Okay, I mean, it's kind of working. This is always my least favorite part of making these moss poles, is trying to add the holes in. Yeah, I mean, that's jagged, but like functional. Let's try this again. Problem is, I don't really like know when it's working. Because before I at least had an auditory signal that let me know, but now I don't have that. I want this to be wider, actually. I really need to make my husband start doing this for me because I'm at a disadvantage here. Again, my grip strength is abysmal. My husband's just objectively stronger. Okay. Oh, come on. It just made an indentation. Oh, why is this so difficult? I could also be using this incorrectly, but I don't think I am. I think it's pretty straightforward. Okay, well, it worked. It's actually a pretty nice hole, but my hands hurt, so let's get through this. I just have 2 more to make because I had already made 2 before my previous hole punch broke. You ever have one of those days where you just feel incredibly uncoordinated, like way more than normal? That's where I'm at today. I just feel like my body is not, my brain and my body are like not in sync, and it is not working. Okay, so I have a general shape. It's a little bit hard to see what's going on, but I think I'm gonna actually come around. I usually go on the inside, but I think it'll be easier to come around the outside this time. I'm gonna cut away the zip tie that I have up top here. Well, do I even have to? I might not have to, actually. But basically, there are holes on the top of this pole, and I'm gonna kind of zip tie them all together. The plant's in the way, so it's a little bit hard for you to see. Maybe I can zoom you in. Is that any better? Maybe? Let's see if I can still achieve this, even with my lack of coordination today. It's like a little bit tricky sometimes to get it right. But it's straightforward in terms of concept, but actually doing it, I don't know. I'm not always the best at it. Okay. I just hope that this is going to be stable. All right, not bad so far. Now I need to add moss and pray that this is going to remain stable and not just lean horribly. I mean, it seems fairly upright now, but like, we'll have to see what happens. Okay. I'm trying to kind of press in where the nodes are, so that way it's more likely that it'll actually root into the bowl. This seems shockingly stable. Okay, wow. Okay, let's see. Hello. That's a big plant now. I mean, it's not perfectly stable in every way, but like, it's okay. And now it stands about here on me, which means it's probably, what, 4 feet tall? So I'm 5'5", but I'm also not very good at estimating height, but that's pretty cool. Wow. But yeah, it is a little bit wobbly. Let me see, I might add a little bit more plant Velcro. But I mean, it stands. I wouldn't let it get knocked around either. I don't know if adding this plant Velcro will add more security to it. I mean, not that much, but it makes me feel a little bit better. I think all I really have time for now is just a quick repot of a plant, so let's get reconfigured here. Okay, I only have 6 minutes left of recording on this SD card, so I've got to make it quick, but this is my jade syndapsis. It so badly needs to be repotted, which makes me a little bit sad because I have enjoyed having it in this cash po here. I'll just have to find a replacement plant for it. It'll work out, but look at these roots. It's been drying out so quickly. I mean, every few days, honestly, because it's so root bound here. I wonder if it will fit this turtle planter, because I've been trying to figure out what should replace it. I mean, that's cute. Although the root system is still like a little bit big for that. Look at how good these roots look. I'm so impressed. Wow. Okay. Actually, I think I'm gonna need to run downstairs really fast and find another planter because this even, I think, is gonna be too small. Okay, this is a little bit basic, but I think it's the best option that I have. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with a basic terracotta planter. I love the look of terracotta. Let me just check real quick. Oh yeah, that's gonna be perfect. It's not too big and it's not too small. It's just right. Goldilocks, dude. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's actually gonna be really cute, I think. I hope that this remains a jade syndapsis because the last couple of leaves that have come out have had like tiny speckles of variegation. I'll have to show you, which is fine, but I want it to retain the jade element of this cultivar. I don't want it to revert. So, also this soil is not quite as chunky as the way I normally make it because I am missing an element. I think it's coconut husk or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's just coconut husk. That adds a lot of aeration to the soil, but as of right now, I just have orchid bark and chunky perlite along with happy frog soil. And I think it's fine, but yeah, it's not quite as fluffy. Is that the right term? I don't know. It's not quite the same as the way I normally make it, but I think it's gonna be okay, especially in this terracotta pot. I just hope that it doesn't compact too much. I think that's good. Actually, that's super adorable. I think that'll work well. I got this plant as 2 single leaf cuttings and it's taken a long time to grow, but we are trucking along. In my experience, I feel like syndapsis, especially like the exotica, and I guess the jade syndapsis is a lot like the exotica, except it's all green, but it still has those pretty big leaves. Especially when you're propagating it, I feel like it just takes a really long time to get started and grow. But here is up close. But do you see what I mean? There's some tiny little speckles on some of the newest leaves that, well, I'm like, come on, stay this color, please. That's what I want. Well, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Oh, and my Hoya undulata from the beginning of the video is still stable. I haven't repotted it or anything because I want it to have some more time to acclimate because it's only been in my collection for less than a week or about a week now. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed just this week of plant chores and joining along with me as I get some things done that I have been putting off. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye!